In this week's Parshas Chayey Soro, the Alter Rebbe explains in Torah the concept of two types of eating. When we eat, we purify the food. Together with it, when we eat, we also get sustenance by the food. We eat the food and becomes part of our flesh and in fats and part of our body. It becomes part of us. So we have two parts that we're doing. One part is that we are eating and we elevating and purifying the food. And then the second part, that what we are getting from the food. The food gives us sustenance and elevates us. And those two kind of eating symbolize the difference between eating on a regular day and eating on Shabbos. Eating on a regular day is the concept of a person purifying the food. Originally, where is the source of food? Why does a person need to come to food? Basically, the way the Eibusher created the world is he first of all created higher worlds. And over there was tremendous amount of godly light. But from that godly light cannot be created this physical world. Because what will happen with this godly light will come to this world, the world will be completely destroyed. And therefore there was something which is called in the word, Lashon Kabbalah, the words of Kabbalah is Shviras HaKelim, that the vessels were not able to contain the light, the godly light, and therefore the godly light fell into different parts of the world. In other words, in everything in the world, there's godly light that makes it exist. And without that godly light that makes it exist, nothing can exist. Evil needs to exist and can exist only because there's a godly light and godly spark that gives it life. As the expression is, you cannot have life with some truth in it. So the truth gives life that the light should be able to stand. Otherwise it won't be able to stand. Similar to that, everything in the world needs to have godly light to it. So what happens, how do we destroy evil? The way we destroy evil is we take the good part out, we elevate the good part, and once the good part being elevated, there's no more good in the evil, and the evil just being destroyed by itself. It does not have any existence. Maybe the example can be, sometimes you see this big balloon in front of people's houses, and you see this big thing full of hair, and when you take the air out, what happens? The whole thing falls off, the cloth falls off, and there's nothing left. The whole balloon becomes nothing. Similar to that, you have the godly life that gives it existence. What happens is, the source of it is much greater source than a person. So when a person eats food, he comes and elevates the food and elevates the good and the godly part which is in every single thing in the world, and he elevates it. When he uses physical thing for the intention to serve Hashem, to serve God, what happens, the good part of it becomes elevated from it, and therefore the evil is automatically being destroyed. Even though we don't see it, that's what happens. When Mashiach will come, we'll be able to see it. But this is what happens every time we do good deed. But this is mainly the work and the eating that we do during the weekday. Not just eating, but any action that we do, elevating the spark, that's what basically was being done during the weekday. Shabbos is a different level. Shabbos is the concept of lisanei alavaya, to have enjoyment and pleasure in Hashem, which is the concept that in that time and that point, a person connects to Hashem in much greater level. He comes and it takes it the way the godly spark is at the source. The way the godly spark in the source, there's no evil, it's pure and it's good and it's tremendous godliness. And that level, that's what we're holding by Shabbos. That we're getting the godliness, we're getting to the way it is in its source, and in its source it's only good, and that gives sustenance and strength to the godly soul, that a person should be able to do the right thing and enjoyment on Hashem. And that is the difference between the eating of Shabbos and weekdays, and this is also the difference between eating of a regular person and eating of a tzaddik. A tzaddik, when he eats, he comes in the level of taking the source, the way the godly light is in its source.